Some say Smile.JPG never existed, but what would you do if the nightmare was real? In 2007, an amateur writer began digging into a strange and unsettling phenomenon that had been spreading through internet forums. A curse passed through a single image. Few who saw it ever lived to tell the tale, but one did, and today we're going to hear her story. Hey horror lovers, I'm Brent and this is the Midnight Post, a place where we dive into strange and chilling creepypastas that might just keep you up at night. If you love listening to creepy stories as much as I do, don't forget to like and subscribe, I've got more of them coming your way. This was one of the few stories that actually made me feel uneasy. I remember listening to it alone and constantly glancing over my shoulder just to be sure no one was there. And mind you, it was still daylight. I couldn't even stare at the image for long. It made me feel genuinely uneasy. And I'll warn you now, this story doesn't have a happy ending. Be careful, you might be next. So we have this guy, let's call him Luke. He's an amateur writer trying to dig up some information about the case known as Smile.JPG for a college paper. But finding reports on this case turned out to be a lot harder than he expected. Why? Because nearly every person who came in contact with that image either lost their minds or took their own lives. Still, he found one survivor. Her name was Mary E. Mary usually refused to give interviews about the case, especially to journalists, but Luke was just an amateur writer, so at first she agreed. So he and her husband, Terrence, arranged their interview. Luke traveled all the way to Chicago, but at the very last minute, Mary locked herself in a bedroom, refusing to see him. All Luke could do was sit on the floor just outside the door and take notes of whatever she was shouting from the other side, though most part of it didn't make any sense. Meanwhile, Terrence was trying unsuccessfully to calm her down. Even though he couldn't see her, it was clear from her voice that she was crying. According to Luke, she kept saying something about the nightmares. Nightmares? What nightmares? Calm down, guys. We're almost there. Almost there. The thing is, back in 1992, Mary was the size up of a small Chicago-based bulletin board system. For those who don't know, a BBS was like a forum, but super primitive. You had to connect through your home phone line, like literally make a phone call. Once you got in, you could chat with other people using just text, share files, stuff like that. One ordinary day, Mary came across a Smile.JPG, and from that moment on, her life was never the same. She was one of an estimated 400 people who saw the image when it was posted as a hyperlink on a BBS, but she was the only one who ever spoke openly about it. Maybe it's because she was the only one who stayed sane, or maybe she was the only one who survived, or the others just didn't want to talk about it. Most people don't believe the story because the original image was never found. There's no confirmed trace of it anywhere on the internet. All we have are recreations based on victims' descriptions. They all describe it the same way. A photo of a dog, a Siberian husky, sitting in a dark room. In the background, a bloody human hand waves. But the disturbing part is the dog's face. It's smiling with human teeth, and its eyes are full of something that looks like anger, hunger. There's something deeply wrong with that smile, something that stays with you even after you look away. The true Smile.JPG is believed to cause sudden onset temporal lobe epilepsy and intense acute anxiety. After that, it's safe to assume Mary's breakdown came from trauma. But Luke didn't stop there. He started sending messages to all kinds of forums, ones about folklore, urban legends, obscure phenomena, hoping to find more victims of Smile.JPG. But nothing. No replies, no leads. Until, near the beginning of March 2008, something unexpected happens. An email from Mary. Dear Mr. L, I am incredibly sorry about my behavior last summer when you came to interview me. I hope you understand that was no fault of yours, but rather my own problems that led me to act out as I did. I realized I could have handled the situation more decorously. However, I hope you would forgive me. At the time, I was afraid. You see, for 15 years, I have been hunted by Smile.JPG. Smile Dog comes to me in my sleep every night. I know that sounds silly, but it's true. There's an ineffable quality about my dreams, my nightmares, that makes them completely unlike any real dreams I have ever had. I do not move and I do not speak. I simply look ahead, and the only thing ahead of me is the scene from that horrible picture. I see the beckoning hand, and I see Smile Dog. It talks to me. It is not a dog, of course, though I'm not quite sure what it really is. It tells me it will leave me alone if only I do as it asks. All I must do, it says, is spread the word. That is how he phrases its demands. And I know exactly what he means. He wants me to show it to someone else. And I could. The week after my incident, I received in the mail a manila envelope with no return address. Inside was only a 3.5-inch floppy diskette. Without having to check, I knew precisely what was on it. I thought for a long time about my options. I could show it to a stranger, a co-worker. I could even show it to Terrence, as much as the idea disgusted me. And what would happen then? Well, if his Smile Dog kept its word, I could sleep. Yet, if he lied, what would I do? And who was to say something worse would not come for me if I did as the creature asked? So I did nothing for 15 years, though I kept the diskette hidden amongst my things. Every night for 15 years, Smile Dog has come to me in my sleep and demanded that I spread the word. For 15 years, I have stood strong, though there have been hard times. Many of my fellow victims on a BBS board where I first encountered Smile.JPG stopped posting. I heard some of them committed suicide. Others remained completely silent, simply disappearing from the face of the web. They are the ones I worry about the most. I sincerely hope you will forgive me, Mr. L, but last summer, when you contacted me and my husband about an interview, I was near the breaking point. I decided I was going to give you the floppy diskette. I did not care if his Smile Dog was lying or not. I wanted to end. You were a stranger, someone I had no connection with. I thought I would not feel sorrow when you took the diskette as part of your research and sealed your fate. Before you arrived, I realized what I was doing was plotting to ruin your life. I could not stand the truth. In fact, I still cannot. I'm ashamed, Mr. L, and I hope that this warning will dissuade you from further investigation of Smile.JPG. You may in time encounter someone who is, if not weaker than I, then wholly more depraved. Someone who will not hesitate to follow Smile Dog's orders. Stop while you are still whole. Sincerely, Mary E. Later that month, Terrence told Luke that his wife had taken her own life, and he warned him, follow Mary's advice. Luke thought he was lying, but when he checked Chicago's online obituaries, yes, Mary E. was dead. But Terrence shared something else. He said that while cleaning the house, he found the diskette. He told Luke he burned it, but the diskette hissed as it melted, like some sort of animal. So Luke decided that for some time he would not further pursue the subject Smile.JPG. But sometime later he received another email, but this time from a stranger. Hello, I found your email address through a mailing list. Your profile said you're interested in Smile Dog. I have saw it. It's not as bad as everyone says. I have sent it to you here, just spreading the word. And what sent shivers down his spine was what came with the message. At the very bottom of the email, there was an attachment. A single file named exactly the way Luke feared. Smile.JPG. After that, Luke was never seen online again. Was it the real image? Was it just another hoax? We'll probably never know. But hey, if you ever come across a strange file named Smile.JPG, don't open it. Or do. Just don't say I didn't warn you.